Girls with dietary. Girls with dietary. Literally so.
In my last video, I speculated on Olivia's mental state, showing signs of victim personality, and that stemmed from me reacting to the song Traitor, a song where she wrote some negative stuff about two other celebrities, which caused a lot of drama, anger, and even threats. The video before that is how it all got started, with me doing a music reaction to her song Brutal. Now let's talk about Olivia's thinness and how it might be affecting her mood. Now don't mistake this part of the video for just me wanting to trash talk, gossip, and join in on drama. My channel for 7 years has been about health and diet, and I made a lot of videos about the undereating epidemic. I've published 2 ebooks about diet and health. The second one is called Binge Eating Banished. Yes, that's not about undereating, but the two of those things do often go together, don't they? So like I said, I don't know if Olivia is undereating. She may just be naturally that thin, and I don't think she is the A word, a word YouTube doesn't allow, which means dangerously thin, but she is the B word. So I went to do some research, see if I can find pictures of her that are really too skinny. So I decided to search for the term too thin, and I like to type in just the first part of what I'm searching for to see if YouTube fills in what I'm looking for in the suggestion drop down, and that tells you the kind of things that are out there and or what people are also searching for. And I see it's in there, too thin, and I also see even higher on the list, too emotional. Yeah, those things go together often if the thinness is caused by undereating. And here's what I found.
The 18-year-old singer was recently brutally criticized on social media for sharing photos wearing a mini dress. After the trolls critiqued Olivia's body and said some pretty horrible things about the young singer, Olivia's fans jumped to her defense, pointing out that body shaming can be extremely harmful.
It's not body shaming to be concerned if someone might have disordered eating, is the term.
Olivia Rodrigo posted a series of photos on Instagram showing off her outfit, which...
Showing off her what? Showing off her outfit. I really couldn't make out that word. You know how it's easier to make out words when you're expecting to hear the word? I guess I was expecting to hear something else. Maybe I was thinking of something else. She's showing off her outfit that is showing off her tight teen body. Or other people might say skinny legs, pole legs. In case you're under any delusions, you gotta ask yourself, why do all these young famous women always want to show off outfits with little material? That picture in the middle is a little concerning. And if I was her and I took a look at these pictures before putting them on the internet, I would not have put them on the internet. And what are people saying? They're saying she's too skinny and that's harmful to women? That's like the ultimate compliment for women. Women like being called skinny, and that might be why she put these pictures on the internet. And if she didn't want to get body shamed or criticized, that is, well, she's the one who put the pictures up. You are opening yourself up to criticism.
Brutal is a punk rock influenced pop song in which Olivia sings about being insecure, feeling exploited and anxious. The nasty comments Olivia received included those about her looking disgusting, frail, and sick.
I disagree with all 3 of those comments.
She also posted vomiting emojis in the comments.
Yes, I know what that refers to.
Telling the singer she should eat something. What's even more disgusting was that most of these comments were posted by grown men who obviously forgot.
This person here is saying it's disgusting. Wow, that men had an opinion.
Comments were posted by grown men who obviously forgot Olivia is still a teenager.
But she is an adult.
So being too skinny is an insult now?
It's not meant as an insult.
There's nothing wrong with being skinny. I'm naturally skinny like her. Go back to your job, grown-ass man.
Now this brings up another thing I hate about our society. When it's a man, his gender is pointed out, and that's used to marginalize men. There's this trend in our culture here where they don't think men should have an opinion or say anything. This just clearly shows we have an anti-male culture. Misandry. This guy says he's an old guy and could easily relate to most of the songs. This has nothing to do with gender or someone being grown. Olivia's 18. She's full grown now. She's not still growing. Although, what I've noticed that most women still grow after age 18, but they're not growing, they're overgrowing. And that probably has something to do with animal products having a lot of hormones in them, and just people eating wrong, overeating too, on the wrong stuff.
Many fans pointed out how Olivia is still a teenager and critiquing her body can be extremely harmful to her mental health.
Then she shouldn't be doing what so many famous women do, like when they turn 18, jump into a bunch of sexy revealing outfits. You're choosing to do that.
Still a teenager. Her body is still changing. Leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
I hate this so much, one fan wrote on
So do I.
Twitter. I've been getting these kind of comments all my life, and it's a form of...
I've been hearing this shit all my life from these bitches. Shut the fuck up until you've experienced life as a man. Why do so many women think that their lives should be perfect and that the world should be their own safe place? It seems they think men don't have problems. Maybe it's because men don't complain, but that's because society tells men not to complain. They don't realize that problems are just a fact of life, and they're not the sole victims. And that's one reason why women have turned into spoiled Disney princesses. And so they're always complaining.
Cause it's hard being pretty and white. Pretty, pretty kids. Ugh.
Well, that's from my last video, part 1 of Olivia Melodrama Heladrama. And you want to see that one right after this one. Well, maybe not right after. You might need a break.
They're not in a place to comment on it. Do they really think this would help?
No, they're just commenting. And I doubt most of these people are even male. They didn't do any extensive research to find the gender of all the people who criticized Olivia. They just like this narrative. They make up their own statistics. That's today's feminism.
Fans also called her bitter and told her to stop singing about heartbreak.
I gotta turn up the volume here. Told her to stop singing about this crap.
Fans also called her bitter and told her to stop singing about heartbreaks, to which Olivia had the perfect response in her May 2021 interview.
No, she
I'm a
didn't.
teenage girl. I write about stuff that I feel really intensely,
Crazy people. This was not a perfect response.
and I feel heartbreak and longing really intensely. And I think that's authentic and natural. Do you want me to write a song about income taxes? How am I going to write an emotional song about that?
You know how over the last few months I've been saying that there's people that will give themselves away. She revealed that she was even writing breakup songs before going through one. And you can see why. Her influences, Taylor and Alanis. So you never know where my videos are going to go because I keep it real here. And this one was a surprise twist. But then again, there's always stuff we don't know. And you never know if you're seeing the truth.
I'm a teenage girl.
And also, why is she calling herself a girl? When they get criticism, it's like...
I'm just a girl.
She's actually adding to the stereotype of the teenage girl. Imagine if a middle-aged man said, "People, she's a teenage girl. What do you expect?" Imagine the hate he would get. Otherwise, they want to be called young women, saying a person can only write what they know, and that she only knows one thing.
Imagine being Olivia's mom and seeing hate being spewed at your young daughter for literally no reason all the time.
Literally. What would this album have been like if she didn't have that relationship? Did she have other songs? Of course. I think she's been a songwriter for many years. So that is such a cop-out. I know of 2 or 3 teen girl singers from the late 80s. In fact, one of them holds the record for youngest person to write and produce a #1 hit. And also, she said that she had never been in a relationship or in love at the point where she wrote that at age 17. Yet she was able to write that. She just really captured a feeling of how it is. If you want to hear that song, it's called Lost in Your Eyes. And she also plays the piano, just like Olivia plays the piano. I also played piano. And the video happens to look a lot like this,
Land with several accusations of being
with a grand piano. She could have written a negative song if she wanted to. And she could have called it Treason in Your Eyes.
Olivia and I are very similar, and the only thing that differs between us is that it's like the heartbreak situation. Unfortunately, I'm gonna get deep here. I've never been heartbroken, and it sucks because Olivia seems to allude to heartbreak in her singles. I haven't gone through heartbreak, and so I can't write magical songs like her. I have such an uninspiring life because Tyler, my boyfriend, is just nice. I thought you were perfect and you were finished. Like, that's it. Boring.
have been calling out Olivia for being obsessed with Joshua and his new rumored girlfriend, Sabrina Carpenter, and many of them compared Olivia to Taylor Swift, who also got made fun of for writing songs about her exes.
Yeah, I heard a comparison between these two, which is now why I've decided to not do any music reactions to Taylor Swift. I've heard enough male bashing in my life. I had had enough by the time the 90s were over, and I'm glad it went out of style, and now it's come back. And I say, no, ma'am.
Olivia has previously opened up about the negative comments that they only write songs about boys. Olivia also said she watched the same thing happen to Taylor, who, by the way, is her favorite songwriter and big.
Then Olivia would have also watched Taylor become one of the richest women in history. I feel sorry for both of these privileged, spoiled women because they end up miserable. They have everything. I just realized she's wearing a fucking crown. They have every privilege, more than anyone in the history of the world, and it only makes them miserable. Mark my words here, Olivia Rodrigo has a troubled future ahead of her. She's just started adulthood, and she's already waist deep in all this crap. Watch her end up like someone like Miley, maybe joining a sex cult like that actress from Smallville. You may not have heard of that, because the media doesn't like to talk about that kind of thing. Saying she never thought she was attractive and still shaking it off. Well, it's only because you have some attractiveness that you were able to get into a relationship with a famous guy. I just realized that I've got so much to cover with Olivia in these 3 videos that I haven't yet gotten to looking what her diet is like. So I just went to look this up. Hard to believe that I've been spending so many hours on this and that I've been watching her for 4 years on Bizarre. And I've just found out that she's a vegetarian. That's usually one of the first things I look up. And that is a good thing in my book. I've been vegan 26 years. But I also know that people can get into some traps with the vegetarian diet. It is easier to undereat. I stopped at the word vegetarian and started recording. So I'll give you my reaction as I read here. Olivia Rodrigo's diet focuses on eating greens and veggies. Now that's a good thing, but I know, as a diet teacher, that when people are focused on eating a lot of vegetables, they often don't get enough calories because vegetables are the one food group that has hardly any calories. And so there's your first sign right there. She doesn't consume meat. The menu contains meals like light breakfast, lunch, dinner. There isn't much to look forward to in her diet plan, as she is just 17. What she wants most of the height is about average. And weight, I converted that into pounds and checked that out, 105 pounds. Now that's not too bad, but that's them, yeah. For 5'5", sounds like vegan here, but you can't trust this. You want to get multiple sources. Most of her diet includes eating lots of vegetables and fruits. Well, what's a lot? Because the way I eat fruit, I have a different definition of a lot of fruit. And I found her talking about her diet right here.
Girls with dietary. Girls with dietary. Literally so. Okay, let's list off our dietary restrictions because we are the most complicated people to go out to eat with.
I'm vegetarian and I try to be vegan, but okay.
I turned on closed captioning here. I figure she was saying, I'm vegetarian and I try to be vegan.
No, you go.
Oh, I'm pescatarian.
Sophie has the most. I'm gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, and egg.
Another interesting note, there was a reference on Bizarre to veganism way back like 4 years ago. It was the owl episode. She took an owl from someone who was going to do experiments on it. She made some kind of joke about going vegan.
Great. So basically she eats air.
So,
yeah. Yummy.
And I'm vegan, but I do eat fish sometimes because sushi is everything.
Okay, wait. There's just one thing.
Yeah. Beyond sushi? Is that what it's called?
My favorite thing to cook is cassio e pepe, which is this like cheesy, peppery pasta. My favorite fast food is Taco Bell. I get a crunch wrap with refried beans instead of meat, no cheese and no sour cream, and a Baja Blast freeze. So good.
Here.
Pancakes, blueberry pancakes specifically.
Well, there's plenty of calories in those foods, but we don't know how often she eats these foods, or how much. Well, look what I found. It is a small world. Olivia Rodrigo and Alanis Morissette in conversation. Well, now what do they have to talk about? This is weird.
I remember I was 13 and I was in the car with my parents and I was listening to Jagged Little Pill and I remember hearing, I think it was like Perfect was the first one.
Of course, Olivia must have come across her music because that's pretty common for a teenage girl to come across Alanis, and because she ended up writing an album just like Jagged Little Pill. Here's some more of Olivia talking, and what I have noticed over the last couple of days, every clip I've ever seen her in talking, she is super happy. No sign of depression here.
Olivia, and we are taking over Disney Music's Instagram story today. So let's just take you on set. So Olivia and I have been trying to find good lighting for literally 10 minutes. Fire take over in 10 minutes, so bear with us. Take 2. If I could go back and change the past, be a little braver than I had, bet against the odds.
1, 2, 3.
It's good! No! There's too much to ever take it back.
Bouncing up and down. Is this manic depression? Are we seeing manic depressive personality? I can't tell if she's faking being happy or faking being sad. So I couldn't find any good evidence that she's undereating. She's probably just naturally thin, and thin from eating healthy. Like a lot of us vegans, we don't have that extra weight that people think is normal. It seems like she's a happy person with a lot of energy, and it could be that she just put together an album that her and her producer and other people knew that would be a big hit.
I was like, oh my God. And I went and told my music teacher a couple days after, I was like, people can write songs like that? You can say stuff like that, and the song would be so honest and
The light bulb came on.
like that. And I just remember having my mind blown. I just
Look at those shoes.
Completely looked at music and songwriting.
With those things, she's like my height. I just heard some of Tragic again, the part where she says, and ain't it funny? Yeah, I don't care for those lyrics. And now hearing that again, it's making me think of Alanis Morissette. Ain't it funny? Isn't it ironic? Now, I'm not saying that Olivia is stealing other people's work. No, I haven't seen those video accusations yet.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just envisioning that the creators, the real creators of this album, knew that Olivia's built-in audience were young people her age. And maybe they know that today's teenage girls are doing a lot of hooking up with guys. A lot of hooking. And today's society is teaching women that they don't have to settle for second best. They're all going for the top guy. And think about it. When almost all girls are going after the top, 5% of guys, well, they're going to have to take turns, aren't they? And that's what they're doing. And so there's going to be a lot of breaking up. And so they gave Olivia the green light to go all out with this Joshua drama. The fact that today's young people are so depressed, I would say has something to do with the fact that our society has just gotten out of hand. When negativity spreads, it makes more negativity. And that reminds me of what Bill Maher said a few days ago. Yep, an old white guy. He said the only way out of it is to just stop. To stop hating, or at least, when you feel hate, just don't spread it. Shake it off. Do the right thing. I'm no conservative traditionalist, but it is clear that society has lost its social rules where we all agree upon living a certain way so that society keeps running smoothly. And we're no longer teaching the new generation this stuff. We're just letting them run wild. You do you. We'll see how this experiment goes. Well, this is interesting. I said that 2 days back, but today we got some breaking news. You may have heard. About 50,000 people of this generation got together at a concert by Travis Scott. It turned into chaos. 8 people died, 100 people injured. A bunch of people broke through a fence, just trampled all over each other, didn't care. Didn't care about breaking the rules or maybe injuring people. These generations were just not raised. They were raised in chaos. I made a video about Alanis a few months back. I got her pretty good, too. I noted that other people pointed out that a lot of the stuff in that song was not ironic. And Olivia's song, there was nothing funny in it. Not even sarcastically funny. Not even ironically funny. I think Olivia should have a co-writer. It's always good to have another mind, to check the other person's mind. No one's saying anything negative. Do people just want everything to be whitewashed? These two guys, it's like they refuse to say anything negative because they don't want to offend the fans. Is that what you really want? Well, I just can't do that. I can't pretend a stranger is a long-awaited friend. I have to continue to fight the craziness that surrounds me in this world.